Welcome back to the second episode of the Fantasy Podcast. I'm joined with Oscar here today. Oscar, go ahead and introduce yourself.
How's everybody doing? My name is Oscar Monteleone from New York City, and here to talk sports.
We're going to start with some free agents. We're going to be talking basketball today in general. Free agents, MVPs, playoffs. Next week we're going to be looking at like football and such. But we're going to start with some free agents. First up is Kyrie, who has already announced that he wants to re-sign with the Nets. But it depends. He has a player option, but I'm not sure if whether or not he's going to get a multi-year deal. He's still young. I don't really know what he's going to do. What do you say?
I think he's going to re-sign for 4 years for a lot of money.
I don't
know if I can curse, but a lot of money.
I think something similar to that too. I don't think he's going to do it 1 year just because it doesn't really make sense for him to sign a 1 year, especially with that. I think KD, his expires next year, so maybe they'll wind up renewing.
I think
both.
KD got re-signed.
Oh yeah, you're right. So they'll probably just sign him for the same length, and that'll be that.
Agreed.
Second one is Bradley Beal, which is like kind of a lot of discussion about because Beal said he would get the Supermax, but to be honest, it could be. I wouldn't be shocked if he went to a better team. Bradley Beal said he wanted to stay with the Wizards, but at the same time, Wizards are not a bad team because they got Kristaps at the trade deadline. But I wouldn't be shocked if Beal goes to a contending team.
Yeah, I see that. I mean, it's like the difference between like $200 million and $150 million. It's kind of up to him how much. I think it's money over winning right now.
Also, at the same time, it's like how long does he want to sign for? Because if he does a Supermax, it's like 5 years. If he does, if he signs to a contender, who knows how long he signs for?
I think honestly, that a lot of guys, especially young guys like Bradley Beal, I mean, he's probably like 20, late 20s.
Yeah, exactly.
Late 20s. You want to sign that deal that gets you the guaranteed money,
exactly.
the most money, and then if it doesn't work, he could request a trade after 1 year, and the Wizards are going to have to honor that. And,
exactly.
And then he gets what he wants, and he gets the bag he wanted.
That is true. Someone else that's a free agent is Russell Westbrook. He has a player option. I mean, obviously, Russell Westbrook has probably been the most talked about in basketball this year. I mean, he's played, I don't want to say awful. He's definitely had a down year from what like he was last year and years prior.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows if they deal him? Who knows if he signs somewhere else? I see him going to a different team. I don't see him fitting with the Lakers. There's plenty of free agents, guards that the Lakers can wind up picking up for probably way less money. That would just be way better for their team fit overall. They're a team that's built around LeBron, and if LeBron's going to stay there, obviously LeBron and AD, they're going to need pieces, and Russell Westbrook clearly doesn't fit.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. I think the Lakers, I'm a big Russ fan.
Mm-hmm.
I feel bad that he's having such a down year, but I feel like realistically, if something crazy were to happen, like Russ comes off the bench and they find someone in the free agency, they re-sign Russ for a little bit less, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a lot of these dudes. I mean, LeBron eventually has to decline slightly.
Yeah, especially. I mean, at 37, season, he's having a crazy season.
He's having the most incredible season, but he has to decline. Like
at some point,
every human being ages. I'm sorry. So I just feel like the time's running out on LeBron's determination to get a chip, and I think LeBron somehow recruiting Russell and getting these guys to sign for the minimum and getting some actual ballers in free agency because they don't have a $40 million contract to deal with. I think that's important.
No, definitely. Also the same thing with LeBron is I don't know how long is left on his contract, but he's very openly said that he wants to be playing with his son. I'm pretty sure his son is maybe 2 years out from the league, so who knows how much longer he's staying with the Lakers. You never know. What he's going to want to do with that team. I know he's obviously not the GM, but let's be real.
I think LeBron should go to the Cavaliers.
Hot take.
I think he'd win a championship if he went to Cleveland next year.
Yes, Cleveland's a good team now, especially with Mobley, Garland. Sexton hasn't even played, and they're
insane.
What
they have Karis LeVert.
They're 7th in the East, and they have Karis LeVert. You're right. Yeah, I mean they're a pretty good team.
They're so stacked. Oh my God.
Add
LeBron to that. That's a championship. I'm sorry.
Another free agent is James Harden. He obviously just got traded to the 76ers. He has a player option. I'm gonna be shocked if he A, didn't sign the player option, B, didn't just re-sign at the 76ers. I mean, it'd be what? If he didn't, it'd be his fourth team in like 2 years. But I mean, he's probably gonna re-sign with the 76ers, which is a good pickup.
Agreed.
To keep. But the only one that's unrestricted, no player option, could get a big deal, could go somewhere else, is Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine has no player option, unrestricted. I don't think he's due for the Supermax, so he couldn't get that at the Bulls, which I think plays a little bit into his decision. He's a person who I think with his skill set, I don't know, it depends because it's rough because like there's a lot of teams right now that could use a good
Come to
two-guard
New
like
York.
him. New York can use anyone.
Knicks.
But I don't know what team's going to be willing to give money for Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine's not bad by any means, but he's definitely not. He's a definitely really good second option. He's probably like the best second option you'd ever get if you signed him, but he's not a first option win type guy. So I don't know what the money is with him. Like I don't know who's going to want to give him that type of money, but whoever does, I mean, hopefully it pans out. And the last one is John Wall. John Wall has not been traded in, I don't know. I mean, he got traded to the Rockets, played last year off an ACL. He didn't play that well. He said he was going to sit out this year. He did sit out this year. They never traded him, even though they said they were going to trade him for Russell. He's old. I don't know where they see him signing. You see him signing anywhere good?
I see him signing in the best position he can find for himself.
Yeah, that's
or
what I
just
think too.
I see him going to LA, to be honest.
Yeah, I definitely don't see Wall signing for like the money. I mean, he just got off of like, I'm pretty sure he had one of the highest paid contracts.
Disgusting.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he had like a
so gross.
$250 million 5-year, and he played like 2 years on it. So I doubt he's going anywhere for the money. I'd be really really shocked if a team gave him over maybe like $4 million. But that's all we have for free agents. There's obviously some little free agents out there, but those are some notable names. We'll see how it shakes out at the end of the season. But now we're going to head over to the MVP race. We're going to start with the Eastern Conference, and then we're going to head to the Western Conference. But I'll read all of them in total. I have Joel Embiid, Giannis, and Tatum for the Eastern, and Nikola Jokic, Devin Booker, and Steph Curry. Right now, I'm pretty sure it's Joel Embiid, Nikola Jokic, and Giannis in the top three. Who's your top three?
For the East, I definitely have to say number one would have to be Embiid. I think Embiid deserves his first this year.
Obviously.
I think 2, Giannis. I think 3, RJ Barrett.
I feel like, maybe a little.
All of them have shown like incredible growth since last year.
I think, definitely you being a Knicks fan plays into that.
Sometimes right. No, and one could say that, but it's someone who isn't watching close enough. RJ should be MVP running.
Yeah, that's a hot take. In my opinion, I think like the biggest like sleeper in my opinion is Devin Booker.
For sure.
Obviously, calling him a sleeper is kind of hard because like obviously he's been really really good. They have the best overall record in the NBA.
That team is so
that team is so good.
That team is crazy.
And the thing is, it's hard to argue that he's the most valuable player on that team. Again, you have people like Mikal Bridges, DeAndre Ayton. Chris Paul was healthy for a really long time. I don't know how long he was out, maybe 5 weeks. And over that time, I'm pretty sure
since All-Star break.
So however long that was, I think that's been, I don't know, a handful of weeks. And he's definitely still kept that team up there. But in my Eastern, I definitely have Embiid as the first. I have Embiid first overall in general. I think Embiid has had the best season. Someone I didn't mention on this was LeBron. The only reason I didn't mention LeBron, even though he's having a crazy season at age 37, is the team is just so bad. There's no way that. I'm pretty sure he's out of the play-in right now. So he just doesn't. That type of record doesn't constitute an MVP.
I want to give LeBron an MVP this year.
He is really good, though.
If they were in first place, oh my God, it would be such a different story.
But it definitely goes for me, Embiid, then Devin Booker, then Nikola Jokic. Especially Jokic playing on a team that bad, not that bad, but like that is missing 2 of their best players, Michael Porter Jr. and Jamal Murray. I just got to put him up there in the top 3. Overall, though, I think those are 6 candidates that I wouldn't be shocked if any certain one got picked. Tatum is also another sleeper. You just saw they took first in the East, and they were really. They're a really good team. They lost Robert Williams though.
Yeah, it's good. It's tough.
Eastern Conference is honestly turning out to be the better conference in my opinion.
Yeah, agreed.
Low key, they've definitely stepped it up. I remember when LeBron went to the Western, it was that whole division was stacked. That's when they were talking about that. But over like the past couple years, you've seen like the Bulls. They're a really good regular season team. The Bulls, the Heat, Bucks. Who else is on here that's really good? Sixers. Raptors. The Raptors are still really good. The 6th best team in the Eastern Conference would be the 5th best team in the Western, which isn't that much of a difference. But the fallout after like the play-in tournament, I mean, the 8th best team in the Eastern Conference would be the 6th best team in the Western. I mean, it's just way different type of skill level from different conferences. But we'll head into playoffs now, talking about different conferences. The top 3 in the Eastern Conference are the Miami Heat, Bucks, and 76ers. And the top 3 in the West are the Suns, Grizzlies, Mavericks. Which is funny because I remember the Warriors got off to this really hot start. That's why Curry was talking about, obviously MVP season. But, that kind of fizzled out when they stopped playing so good. Kind of when Klay came back, not to be frank. I mean, like, I wouldn't want to say he ruined the team chemistry, but he definitely isn't. He's shelving for himself. He's not a good defender.
Yeah.
They definitely had, a scheme before he was playing. So, I mean, it's rough. But who do you see being, like, the top 2 teams in each conference?
You're saying who do I predict in the finals?
Yeah, I guess.
I'm saying... it's tough.
It's rough.
Man.
It is rough.
It's really tough. I
There's
would
a lot of
honestly
good teams.
say I don't think anybody looks better than the Suns.
No, definitely not. They're a complete team, especially with Chris Paul back.
And last year very well could have been a fluke, but it does not look that way. Like
No.
So I'd say Suns out of the West.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so tight in the East. I would say it's between Milwaukee, 76ers. And I don't want to throw the Nets in there.
I agree with that. Nets are a rough team to watch right now.
Yeah, I think it's Sixers.
And Ben Simmons they traded for Ben Simmons. He literally still hasn't played.
Yeah.
Which is beyond me. It's funny enough, the Heat are the number 1 seed, and neither of us mentioned him. In my opinion, in my opinion, the Heat, they're a really good regular season team.
Yeah.
I remember watching someone, and he had said that they have, like, no star player. In my opinion, I don't think Jimmy Butler's, he's just not a great player. He's kind of like Zach LaVine, where he's a great second option. As a first option, it's kind of hard to justify him as the best player on your team. But the thing is, the roster is so deep, but who knows how important that is in postseason. You see a lot of postseason teams, they just play, 6 players.
It's true.
And, the thing about the Heat is, they have this big rotation with, that dude Strauss and Tyler coming off the bench. And then it gets even deeper with some of the role players. And it's just a Duncan Robinson. It's just hard to see that type of team being efficient in the playoffs when you have, a team like the 76ers who's going to have 2 top 6 players, like Embiid and Harden.
Right.
It's just hard to, say, a deeper team is better than having 2 star players. Same thing for the Nets, low-key. I mean, honestly, if Harden and, not Harden, if Kyrie and Kevin Durant go off, I mean, they're going to be a team that no one wants to see.
Yeah, but then I see, if you're talking about, a deep team, I just feel like Milwaukee's crazy.
They got great defense, too.
They got the rotations the same way the Heat does, where it's next man up, and it's.
But the thing is, Giannis is the thing about that with the rotation and the Bucks being different than the.
They have Giannis.
Yeah, I mean they have Giannis.
They have the star.
And Chris Middleton is still I don't want to say Chris Middleton's great, but I mean he's a great scorer. Drew Holiday is by far a great defender. I mean he's arguably he could be the number 1 defender on that team. I mean Giannis is probably by a mile, but I mean Drew Holiday's still pretty up there with the top guard defenders. But a sleeper that I have for the Eastern Conference is the Raptors. They just got OG back. Siakam's been playing out of his mind. Gary Trent is really good. You don't like him?
Nah, I got the Knicks before the Raptors.
Knicks even in the playoffs?
Nah, we're not yet. But we're only 1 spot out.
You got them over the Hawks? That'd be another great matchup to see.
No, if
that.
I'm being honest, I'm delusional. We're not. Our season's over.
Yeah, no.
We're gonna trade Randall.
Yeah, no. He just requested a trade, right? Demanded. I think he just demanded a.
I didn't see that.
I'm pretty sure he just demanded getting off the team, like what James Harden did on the Rockets when he sat out, or just.
He's just he sits at the end of the bench away from the huddles. He sucks. He's getting 4 points a game.
I think
they won a game and he threw the ball angrily and walked off the court.
See, I don't watch enough Knicks to.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it must be painful.
His body language is disgusting.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I thought earlier in the season Tom was the problem. I thought the coach was the problem.
Yeah, I mean, in a way it was because he really likes his vets.
Yeah, he really does. Like, what's his name? Mayo Quickly. I have him on my fantasy team.
Yeah.
And he's played really good the last 8 games. Like, the last 8 games.
Yeah,
he really has been balling.
He's finally playing.
Yeah, and I noticed that he's finally given him minutes.
Yep.
And I feel like that's kind of the thing that, like, a coach like that, like, will stop a player's growth. Like, I mean, luckily with RJ, he's just so good.
Yeah.
That,
RJ,
yeah.
oh my God. Have you been watching? I'm sorry.
No, I haven't.
I'm sorry. I know Knicks was not on your topic sheet.
No,
but
that's
have
fine.
you been watching RJ Barrett?
No, I've not. But I've been seeing his stats. I mean, I've been seeing his stats. I haven't been watching him play, though.
Yeah.
I mean, by far, he's probably the best player on the Knicks right now. But Emmanuel Quickly's been balling. Is Mitch back? He's been playing
Mitch is
good?
back. Yeah. Mitch is back.
He's been playing
But
good.
he's injury prone, and plus he's a free agent this year.
He is?
Yeah, he's a free agent. I could see him getting a little money from like Charlotte.
That is true. I don't think they're gonna re-sign him. I wonder. I should have looked up.
He's gonna be worth
free agent centers. I should have definitely looked it up. I looked up more guards and
Nah,
players.
you're good. It's just Mitch is one of like the top. I feel like free agent centers.
Yeah, especially.
But he's injury prone.
Yeah, I mean,
he's injured.
Yeah,
like
I mean, I was gonna say I had him in
games,
fantasy in the
man.
earlier part of the season. He was out a lot, and then
out
I'm
constantly.
pretty sure last year didn't he?
He missed so much.
I was gonna
time.
say I'm pretty sure last year he either.
He like missed like right before the playoffs and into the playoffs.
Yeah, but that's all. Yeah. That's all we have today. We covered free agents, MVP race, playoffs. What's your Oscar? Obviously the Knicks.
Appreciate it.
Big Knicks fan. I appreciate you all coming to watch the second vlog, and stay tuned for next Tuesday with another guest.